For some reason, I thought that real artists worked in collections. Like, they pick a theme or an idea or a subject and they paint that thing until an entire collection has emerged, and then they can present that collection to the world. And because I thought that, I started working on the collection that I'm working on finishing up now. And as I've been working through this collection, my thought process has shifted. My idea that real artists, have to work in collections has changed. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about why I kind of thought that, what my thought process was during painting this collection, what thoughts, like what ideas changed, how I feel now, and how I'm going to be working in the future. So I think that initially I thought this about artists because it's something that you kind of see a lot of successful artists doing. Obviously not all of them. And whenever I kind of thought this to myself, like, oh, I need to work on a collection because, like, that's what artists do. I already had seen examples, obviously, of artists that don't work in collections necessarily. They may work in series or have, like, connective threads through their work, but they don't specifically work in collections. And I'll kind of get into my idea of the difference between collections and series in a little bit. But I think that idea got solidified in my mind because whenever you see artists doing like solo shows, in galleries, like solo exhibitions, it's obviously, like, a lot of the time their work has this very distinct running theme, or they're focusing on a certain type of do you know what I mean? So I think that's why I started thinking that and started feeling like I needed to work in a collection in order to feel like a real artist. But obviously that's ridiculous. Like, that's a ridiculous notion. And I feel like in the art world in general, you hear a lot of artists talking about how they feel like they backed themselves into a corner by focusing too strictly on one subject matter or one very, very specific style within kind of like a broader style that they can work in. So I feel like I've seen a lot of artists talk about how they kind of fell into the same trap, but not necessarily for the same reason. But once they kind of started going down that path, it started giving them more opportunities, and it's kind of just what people expect from artists. Like, and especially if you're going to get gallery representation, they often like to see a very distinct style, or they like to see that all of your work is connected so that their collectors that they're trying to sell your artwork to know what to expect, and then, it's easier to sell work. I just don't think that that's necessary. And then I don't even know why I felt this urge to do this, because I don't even necessarily care about having gallery representation. Like, it might be cool, it might be interesting, but it's not really like a goal of mine. You know what I mean? It's not like I feel like I'm only going to be successful if I'm represented by a gallery. Like, that's never been a thought. So I don't really know why, like, I started thinking that I needed to work in a specific collection. So as I've been working on this collection, though, I've been noticing that I haven't been getting tired of it necessarily, because I'm still interested in the subject matter, in the sketches that I've done, in the color palette that I chose. Like, I still want to finish this collection, but I started noticing that I had other ideas that I wanted to pursue in the middle of doing this. And by there's just been like a psychological block. By telling myself that I need to paint in a collection, I have kind of made myself hesitate when I want to do something outside of that before it's finished. And this may be like just a very personal problem, and maybe other artists that work in collections don't feel this, but I started feeling, like I said, I started feeling guilty for wanting to do things that weren't in this collection, and it started making me feel like, well, if I do things that aren't related, then like my work's going to feel disjointed, or maybe I'll get distracted and I won't ever go back and finish this. I have kind of tried to put those worries aside a couple times during this process, but I've also found that for the majority of the time that I've been working on this collection, those concerns have kind of halted my creativity in general. Not just forced me not to work on anything else, but I've found myself hesitating to even work on this collection. So I realized it's clearly not working for me. So something needs to change. Before I talk about what I am going to be like doing after, I do want to finish this like collection. And in reality, when I say finish, it's probably not going to be finished really, because of the way that I plan on like changing the way that I think about the pieces that I'm making and how they're connected. So before I kind of talk about that, I want to talk about my take on the difference between collections and series. And this may not be like the actual literal definitions of collections and series, but kind of just the way that my brain processes the difference between the two. Is, in my mind, a collection is a series of work that is basically created in one go. Like, as an artist, you focus on this subject matter, this color palette, this style, and you just basically pretty much just paint that until you have a cohesive body of work that represents the ideas that you're trying to get across. And like I said, that's not working for me. So I do plan to move more towards series as far as the themes and subjects of my art having a through line. In my mind, a series is like a collection, but there's no end date. Like, there's no finish line to cross. It's an ever-evolving body of work that, when placed together, feels cohesive and connected. I'm gonna have to pause because they're mowing. I don't know. They just keep changing the days that they mow. I don't know why they're doing this to me. So these are the sketches that I've been working from. You guys have seen these before in other videos, but let me just show them to you again real quick. So those two larger ones, and then I have two oil pastel, like smaller oil pastels. Yesterday I got back on track with working on this collection, and I did a couple pieces. So I have been doing all of my like final pieces in acrylic. So there is this one, and I actually really like how both of these turned out. I wasn't super sure about them in the moment yesterday, but I am happy with them now. But I think out of all three that I've done so far, this one that I just did today is my favorite, but I did these two yesterday. So that one, and then this one. I'm not really sure why I've decided to omit the lighthouse from both of these, but it kind of just felt like it didn't need it. Like it kind of felt like it was just going to be too cluttered or unbalanced if I put it in there. I like it in the sketches, but I just didn't want to put it in these paintings. So I think the next one I am going to like purposefully kind of push against that instinct and put a lighthouse into a similar scene like this and see how it works out. The lighthouses in the other ones are kind of small. Like they are disproportionately small compared to like how they probably should look compared to the houses. I don't really care about that. That's fine. But I think maybe that's why in these final ones I didn't want to put it in, because when I was thinking about putting it in, I wanted to put it in like big. But I had already done the houses, and it just felt like putting a little one here just would mess up the composition. So I'm going to do that next. Okay, let's see if I can pick up where I left off, because it's been hours and hours since they stopped mowing. Which, grateful I don't have to mow. Glad they do it. Can't really film when they do it. Anyway, so basically a series, for me personally, my definition of a series is a collection of work that has no definitive timeline. There's no finish line. It's never finished. It's just a topic or an idea or something that over time I continue to add to as I am inspired to do so. And I'll be working on many, many series all at once. So a series could develop over years and years and years, but I'll never present it together as like a cohesive, complete thing. Words are hard right now. So yeah, what I have decided to do is whatever the frig I want, basically. So I had talked about in a video previously when I was talking about this collection, which is now turned a series. I was talking about the fact that I had been doing this process in phases, and that I am in phase 3 now, which is what I initially thought was going to be the final phase of creation. And that phase 4 would be me like putting it out into the world, putting it on my website for people to purchase, yada yada. And then I realized that there was more I wanted to do with it. I wanted to push it further. I now wanted phase 4 to be turning the initial sketches and the like larger loose sketches and the finished paintings. I wanted to take those and start abstracting them and like pushing them in shape and color so they get to the point where they're basically unrecognizable, but there's still like something that connects them. You can still kind of tell that they're related in a way. And I do still want to do that. It's just not going to be this contained process. So, I am having a lot of fun painting this view. And this view is what initially inspired me to do this collection in the first place. So it makes sense that this is the view that I am the most inspired by. I definitely have done the most paintings from this view out of any other view that I've been using for this collection. And I'm just still going at it. I've realized that I really enjoy working in iterations. Like I enjoy painting something and then looking at it and deciding like, okay, there's just this small tweak that I want to make. Let me do another one and I'll make that tweak. And eventually I'll have this kind of lineup of paintings that look related, but they're not all the same painting. And that's why kind of I decided that doing a collection was for me, aside from feeling like it was going to make me a real artist. I thought, oh, well, I know I like working in iterations, so a collection is perfect because it'll just be like working in iterations, but just like all in a row, all together, all at the same time. And I do still enjoy working in iterations. It's just, I want to free up my mind to allow myself to take a break and not be concerned about how long it takes me to get back to that subject. Because just because I take a break from it doesn't mean I'm not enjoying it. And I feel like that's kind of a fear that I had. Like I said, that if I took a break and I did something else, even if it was just like a one-off, that I would get distracted or become uninterested or bored and like never return to this. And I knew I didn't want that to happen. But I want to let go of that fear because I don't think that that fear is doing anything positive for me. Because if I am interested enough in it, I'll get back to it eventually, right? And why does it matter when that happens? As long as what I'm doing is holding my interest and I'm inspired by the things that I'm painting, then why does it matter? Why does it matter? You want to tell me? Can you tell me why it matters? I didn't think so. So, yeah. I mean, I don't think that when I explain things, it comes across as the most eloquent or the most cohesive or linear. So hopefully all of this has made sense. And if you guys have any questions about like wanting me to clarify anything that I've said, feel free, leave a comment and I will answer it. But yeah, now I'm just gonna move along, finish up these paintings. So I'm not going to, like I said, this is no longer a collection, but I am still feeling inspired to continue these. So I think I'm going to do a couple more and then I'm going to call it done. And I'm just going to release myself from this collection bind that I've put myself in. And then that's that. And we're just going to paint. We're going to paint whatever I feel like. And I have a lot of ideas, you guys. A lot of, like, too many ideas, honestly. I have so many. I'm inspired by so many things, and I have so many ideas of things that I want to paint. I literally have a running list, and it's so long, and it's honestly kind of a little overwhelming because where am I even supposed to start? I don't know. I just close my eyes and, like, scroll and, like, point at something, maybe. Whatever, I'll figure it out. It's okay. We're just going with the flow. Just gonna figure it out as we go. Go with the flow. Okay, so I have the lighthouse in there, and then I have a little house in the back, and I put 2 little palm trees up there, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this area here. I kind of want to put in a large tree and kind of have it cover this a little bit. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I'm gonna do something. Also, I'm not super happy with how the lighthouse came out. I'm gonna leave it, but I think I'm gonna do another one and change it. We'll see. I don't know. So I ended up putting another building down here. It just felt kind of like off by itself. I felt like I needed the building to kind of balance it and ground the lighthouse a bit. And then I put in a larger tree here in front of the house, and I really like how this turned out. I'm really happy with it. The only thing I'm not super happy about is how this looks over here, kind of overlapped over the other tree. I'm not gonna change it. I don't like hate it, but it's a lesson learned. A lesson for the next one. Okay, it's still wet, but here it is. I'm gonna call it done. I like it. I do like it, especially the tree in here. I like how these trees overlap better than the ones in the other piece. I don't love the lighthouse again. And I think maybe the lighthouse just isn't working. I don't know. I liked it in the last one I did, and maybe it's the colors, not the pink. I like the pink. Maybe it's the purple. I feel like the purple isn't neutral enough. It's not like dirty enough. But also I feel like the lighthouse, especially the like body of it, is painted too neatly compared to the rest of the painting. So, I don't know. I am going to leave it as is and call this done, and I'm going to move on from this series for now, but because it is now a series and not a collection, I can come back to it at any point in time. I can do one random painting inspired by it. I can do a handful inspired by it. I can do whatever I want. And that feels real good. Also, hopefully the camera looks okay. I just noticed that the lens looks all cattywampus inside the thing. It's like off center. I don't know why. But yeah. I do kind of wish... I'm not super happy with where the bottom of the tree is landing because I actually painted it further down here and I like that better. But then I painted some like brush over it because I wanted some more contrast down here. But now it brought the tree trunk up a little higher than I wanted. But whatever. It's fine. It's not big. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you got something out of this. I hope this maybe helped you free yourself up a little bit in your painting, even if it was in a way that's not related to collections. Just a reminder that you can do whatever the heck you want. Do whatever you want. Do whatever makes you happy. That's it. That's the secret to life. Do what makes you happy. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, please. And I'll see you next week. Bye.